Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Palazzo was part of the Alea collection, and they would have the big box and the small box and the medium box games. This one will squarely be in the medium box games. And this is kind of the same thing they were doing at the time, kind of these boring Renaissance whatever kind of themes about building windows. Why would anybody be excited about that? Why would people in this time period think that was an exciting theme? But yet they did. So what you're going to be doing in this game is a lot of auctions. If you do not like auctions, this is probably not the game for you, because that's how you're going to score the majority of your points. There are some opportunities to take money cards and to buy certain tiles, but you'd be definitely paying a premium price to do so. So the majority of your points are going to come through auctions, and that's what's going to happen in this game. Where this game kind of falls apart for us is it feels a little generic, especially in the modern times. There are a lot of auction games and a lot that do things better than what I see this one doing. In addition, it has a more relatable theme. I do not like this kind of theme at all, and it really doesn't do anything for me. If you're looking just for mechanism, sure, the game works. It's an Alea game. It's going to be a sound game, but you're going to have to like the auctions. Another hit on it for us is that we're not huge auction fans. I don't mind it being part of a larger game. I can kind of suck it up and deal with it there. But, you know, it's one of those things where if you don't know the price of things or what they should be going for, which can constantly change during an auction game, then the balance or the economy of the game can be off a little bit. That's particularly what I don't like about auction games. So for this one's going to be a purge for us. There's not a whole lot to it that's bringing us to it. The look of it on the shelf is not going to want us to play it. It's a miss for us. Here's Palazzo, which is produced by Rio Grande and Alea, and it's part of the small box. This is number 2, or mid-sized boxes in the Alea set. You're going to have a 15th century Florence. You'll be building up different buildings. You're going to have a rule book, which we'll take a look in a few minutes. Getting a little bit of an advertisement here from Rio Grande Games, which I always like. I like going back and looking at the games that were released in those points and taking a look at those. You're going to get, these will be kind of be the player board, if you will, or the main board. We're going to have these spread out through. These are pretty good little cardboard pieces, and there's some details on them. Well, they do repeat on each of these. You're going to get a little guide that will be moving around. This is kind of a common little component at the time. You're going to get your player aids. These are going to be nice because they are nice little cardboard. They have words on the back, and they have pictures on the front, which is fantastic. This will be the 3 money certificate that will be on the board. Then you're going to have your little Alea cards that are pretty common in here. These are going to be just different monies of different currencies, etc. that you'll be able to fiddle with throughout the game. Very easy to see the monies on each of this, plus different pictures and different colors. And then the tiles themselves are pretty good. They're going to have 1, 2, or 3 on the back. These are okay. It's kind of hard to see, but there are windows and doors on these, and numbers over here that will tell you the levels of them. Very easy to read. These could have been a little bit thicker. I guess they're thick enough. They just feel kind of cheap. But that's kind of what you expect from an Alea game. The insert actually is pretty nice. I feel like everything fits in here very well. So great job with that. Here is the rule book, and Alea has some of the best rule books in the business. You can have an overview of what's going on here, the goal of the game, and the contents, which first glance, you don't see pictures, but they're right over here. Now, throughout the rulebook, you're going to see the main rules if you're kind of reading it through the first time. And then you have a short summary over here in case you're coming back for the 4th, 5th, 6th time. You just want to refresh. All you got to do is read the columns on the right. This will be set up and kind of give you an explanation of how things work. And then you start playing the game here as you go through. And then the game end will tell you how to score things up. Very simple auction game. The back gives you an example of scoring. Great job. As always, Alea brings the goods when it comes to the rulebook. Some of the best in the business. The game is going to have tiles that are 1, 2, and 3. Mixed in the tiles for the 5th one is you're going to have these 5 tiles that will make up a little scene here as you're going through. And you'll be able to see the people. Now, once this is all built, this will be mixed in a 3rd pile. The game will end. You'll score up who scores the most victory points. Now, one of the important concepts to learn when you're building the buildings is that the higher numbers have to go on top. And once you build it, you can't slide this in unless there's a particular action that allows you to. And you're going to score points based on the level. So, if you only have a level 1, it's negative points. 2 would be no points. And then 3, you'll start scoring points for these levels. So you had something like this. And as you go up, you'll be adding points for windows also. On a turn, you can take one of 3 possible actions. The first thing you do is you can take money cards. And let's say you're playing a 3-player game, you would draw the number of players plus 1. Then the first player would choose what cards he wants. He would take 2 of those, pass them on. Everybody else is going to get 1 of the cards. So that's a possible action, and that's how you gain money into your hand. Another possible action is let's say you had a building with 2 and 4, and you want to put a 3 tile in the middle of it. You can do so by getting rid of any money card from your hand. You would discard that out, and that's a possible action to reconstruct your building, putting that one in the middle, thus hoping to score more victory points for yourself. So that's the second possible action, which would be reconstruction. The third possible action, which will happen most often, will be that you will either buy, and you buy the tiles from the center, or auction off one of these. So what you're going to do, let me give you an example. Let's say this tile is not here, and you wanted to buy from here. So you can just buy these tiles. You can buy 1 or 2. So if there were 3 in the middle, I could buy 1 or 2 tiles, and you would pay 10 minus number of tiles here. So I wanted to buy these 2 tiles, they would be $7 a piece. If I wanted to buy just 1, it would be $7 a piece. And you would just pay it. You would gain the tiles and put them in over here and build your building. The other thing you can do is you can take this guy, and he will skip over anything that's empty and go to the next one that's available, and then you can auction this off. Now, the first person auctioning, if say it's my turn, I will gain this 3 certificate, and this will become the starting bid. If nobody else bids and I win, I pay nothing. I just give this back, which I have to do anyway, and I take it. Otherwise, people continue to auction off and bid and bid and bid until the top bidder. Whatever your top bid is, you then have to pay, and you gain the tile and put it into your tableau. And that's how you play Palazzo. It's that easy. You can either buy, auction, gain more money cards. Now, one of the tricks to the money is you can always pay all of one currency. So let's say this is my hand, and I wanted to purchase something. I could pay with all of one currency. I could not change the currencies up in order to make it work. Unless I had 3 5s or 3 of a kind, then those are always equal 15, and I could do that. So it has that little bit of Alhambra feel with the money, that you're looking for certain currencies that you want to add up, and that's why you might draft, if you were drafting cards, you might draft a 3 red because you need red more than you would need like a 5 of any color. There are some wilds that are in here, the 2s, but otherwise it's a pretty generally speaking that you want to get currencies of the same in order to buy stuff, and that's Palazzo. Who should buy this game? Collectors of the Alea group. I think if you're collecting that series of games, this will be one that you want. That's not high praise, I know. If the theme speaks to you at all, if you like building windows during this time period and you want to score points this way, if you like auctions, this is a pretty fun auction game. I could probably name some better ones for you if you wanted to play a better auction game. One I kind of like that's unique is Going, Gone. But this one, it's going to be that Alea crowd that doesn't mind the subpar components. The theme is iffy at best for most of us. And it's just nothing that just like, wow, you got to play this game. So for us, it's definitely a Purge.